I didn't know what the season was when I helped her. I was just another human contractor drifting between fringe systems, repair work, salvage, anything that paid in fuel and rations. The planet Varelia was supposed to be a short stop, breathable air, edible flora, and a trade enclave that welcomed off-worlders. No warning beacons. No quarantine flags. Nothing that screamed political nightmare. Then I saw her collapse in the marketplace. She wasn't human. Tall, willowy, skin like polished moonstone threaded with faint bioluminescent veins. Her eyes, 4 of them, fluttered in pain, pupils dilating erratically. The crowd parted instantly. Not in concern, in fear. "No one touch her," a merchant hissed. "She is in her season." That word carried weight. Ritual. Law. Something old and sharp. I knelt anyway. She was burning up, her breath shallow and uneven. Whatever the season was, it was killing her. I did what humans always do when the universe shrugs, ignored custom, and tried to save a life. I stabilized her with a field medkit, cooled her core temperature, and carried her to my ship when no one else would. She woke hours later in my med bay, claws gripping my sleeve like I might vanish. "I am Princess Asalira of House Virith," she said weakly. "You have interfered with a royal season." "Yeah," I replied. "And you are dying." Her mandibles flexed, not anger. Shock. "No one survives the season without a bond," she whispered. I had no idea what that meant. I would soon. Middle. A bond forged in defiance. Varelian biology was cruel by human standards. Once every cycle, noble females entered the season. A convergence of hormonal, neural, and genetic instability meant to ensure only the strongest lineages survived. Traditionally, they were locked in sanctums, surrounded by chosen consorts or warriors who would anchor their minds and bodies through ritual combat, pain-sharing, and bonding. I had done none of that. Instead, I stayed by her side for 3 days, monitoring vitals, adjusting treatments, talking when she drifted in and out of fevered hallucinations. I told her about Earth oceans, about storms, about humans being stubborn enough to punch gods and call it progress. Somehow it worked. Her vitals stabilized. The season passed, and the galaxy noticed. When her guards finally arrived, they didn't arrest me. They knelt. "She is bonded," one said, voice trembling. "By proximity and sustained presence. By ancient law." Princess Asalira rose from the med bay, regal and terrifying in ceremonial armor. "You saved my life," she said. "That makes you mine." "I don't think that's how consent works," I muttered. She tilted her head, genuinely confused. "You remained. You endured the season. You shared my suffering. On Varelia, that is the highest form of consent." I tried to leave the planet that night. My ship was impounded. Politely. Thus began my education in alien politics. The Varelian court was a den of silk and blades. Houses maneuvered constantly, and Asalira's survival disrupted centuries of controlled succession. She wasn't supposed to live. She was supposed to weaken, be replaced, quietly erased. Now she stood stronger than ever, and I stood beside her, an unarmed human with no title, no clan, and an inconvenient habit of asking why. Assassins came first. Poisoners. Psychic infiltrators. Each time, I reacted faster than tradition allowed, dragging her out of danger, tackling threats barehanded, refusing to play ceremonial games while lives were at stake. Humans don't ritualize survival. We improvise. That terrified them. "She is changing," one noble accused during a council session. "Because of him." "Yes," Asalira replied calmly. "And I am alive because of him." By the time the season's political aftermath ended, her house had risen in power, and I had become something worse than a scandal. I had become indispensable. Middle, the cage of a golden world. Weeks passed. My ship remained grounded. Every request to leave was delayed, redirected, or smothered in protocol. You promised I could go once this was over, I told Athera one night, standing beneath bioluminescent arches in her private garden. She didn't look at me. I promised you safety. That's not the same thing. She turned then, eyes glowing faintly. Do you know what happens to bonded mates who leave during the postseason? I'm guessing it's bad. They die, she said softly. Their nervous systems destabilize. Their presence becomes necessary. I laughed once, sharp and disbelieving. I'm human. Different biology. She stepped closer. We tested. That was when I realized my own body had changed. My heart rate synced to hers when she was near. My sleep grew restless when she was absent. I could feel her emotions at the edge of my perception. Echoes, not thoughts. The bond wasn't one-sided. I didn't agree to this, I said. No, she admitted. But neither did I agree to die. For the first time, I saw fear behind the crown. Real fear. If you leave, she whispered, it will kill me. The season will claim what it failed to take. The court watched us constantly now, waiting, calculating. I wasn't a prisoner in chains. I was a linchpin. Ending. Humanity does not belong to anyone. The coup came during the festival of renewal. House Kareth struck openly, accusing Essilira of violating sacred law by bonding with an offworlder. Their fleets surrounded the capital. The court fractured. Tradition demanded a trial of severance. Either the bond was broken, or one of us died. Essilira stood before the council, armor gleaming, voice steady. I will not sever, she declared. I will not kill the one who saved me. All eyes turned to me. I stepped forward before anyone could stop me. I'm leaving. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Essilira's composure shattered. You cannot. I won't be your weakness, I said gently. And I won't be your weapon. I triggered the device I'd been building in secret, human neurotech, crude but effective. A dampening field tuned to the bond's resonance. Pain flared through my skull like white fire. Essilira screamed. Then silence. The bond didn't break. It changed. Human minds don't accept dominance. We adapt. We equalize. The feedback surged through the chamber, disrupting every Varelian noble linked by bloodline resonance. House Kareth collapsed, their genetic superiority rendered meaningless in seconds. I stayed on my feet, panting, bleeding, free. Essilira stared at me, stunned. What have you done? I turned a leash into a bridge, I said. You don't own me, and I don't own you. The council knelt, not to tradition, but to reality. She approached me slowly, no crown, no armor. Will you stay? She asked, not as a ruler, but as a woman who had survived her season. I smiled faintly. I'll visit. She laughed through tears. Humans, she said, always refusing cages. Months later, my ship finally lifted off from Varelia. Behind me, an alien princess ruled by choice, not blood. Ahead of me, a galaxy that would soon learn the same lesson.